Hey there, men. Today we're in the studio with Pastor Sean, and we're talking about men who wasted their legacy. So, Sean, what do we mean by that, wasting your legacy, as guys are watching this and maybe talking about this with other guys in a small group or with their mentor?
Well, we're just talking about guys who really gave up a lot for something so small, and throwing away a good name, throwing away a future, throwing away a tremendous amount of assets for something so small and trivial.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do our top three. So let's start with number three. Who's your number three guy in history who wasted his legacy?
Well, we're going to make a splash with this one. We're going to talk about Ryan Lochte,
Okay.
who has won over about 13 medals and swimming through the water in a Speedo. What guy doesn't like watching that every 4 years?
Yeah, that's good.
And
so that's what threw his legacy away, is the Speedo?
well, it should have, but for some reason it didn't.
Okay.
But after winning and being even more famous at the Rio Olympics, he made up a story of being held at gunpoint. He fabricated it. He lied about it, elaborated about it,
Yeah.
and just to get a buzz on a Good Morning America show.
Yeah, something. It seems like he did something stupid, that if he probably would have just been honest, it would have probably stopped there. But then he did something more stupid on top of it, and probably another thing more stupid on top of that, and yet it ends up costing him, I don't know how many millions in, in advertisement and marketing and all that stuff.
Yeah, right away he lost some major corporate sponsors. His biggest, our favorite one, Speedo, dropped him really quick. But this lost an estimated worth at least $1 million right off the bat.
Wow.
Because of this foolish act.
And I would say more than money, like it's a tarnished name. Now, not that he can't maybe come back. Everybody makes mistakes. Maybe he come back from it. Time will tell.
Yes.
But definitely tarnished his legacy. All right, who's your number two guy on your list?
Number two is known as a meal, but he actually was a man, Benedict Arnold.
Ex-Benedict.
Yes, ex-Benedict, yes. And he was a high-level military leader in the Revolutionary War.
For which side?
Well, that's great. That's a great foreshadowing, taste of foreshadowing. But he fought for the Americans at first. He took over. In 1775, he led a small group of Americans to take over Fort
Ticonderoga?
Yes. I was saying the French version, he was saying the real version. But actually, when they did that, he overtook this fort garrison and got a bunch of supplies that the Americans utilized to fight against the British. And then he led another campaign where he defended New York, the state of New York, and was rising up in the ranks of his fame and power, but didn't feel he was getting the just due that he was deserved. And so he went, and he, in secret at first, went and was giving away important information to the British, and eventually went over to their side and fought for them.
Yeah, so I think most people watching this video would know his name for the opposite of a good name and a legacy. But if you're a student of history, you know that he was, like you said, he was a good guy at first.
Yes.
He was trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then he made a really poor choice, and now if you're called a Benedict Arnold, it's not a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing LeBron James actually was called by the Cleveland owner when he went to Miami. He called him a Benedict Arnold, and actually sold his Cleveland jersey for $17.76.
Wow. That's a good little piece of information.
Actually, it wasn't that. It was his birthday, whatever his birthday is. But something where he just did something to take a stab at LeBron for leaving the Cavs for Miami.
Yeah.
He was so upset. He thought, what's one of the worst things I can call him?
Wow.
I'll call him a Benedict Arnold.
Well, so there's your guy who lost his legacy. All right, so who's your number one guy on your list in history who gave up his legacy, wasted his legacy?
Yes. Number one is the hairiest man ever born, by the name of Esau. We're going way back for this. The lesser known of the twins of Jacob and Esau. Okay. Esau, who really did that.
So tell us the story for guys who don't know. We'll put a link below to some more on Jacob and Esau, but give us the 20-second version.
So Jacob and Esau were twins, and one was a mama's boy, one was a daddy's boy. Esau was more of the dad's favorite of the twins, and he was a hunter. He went out one day looking for whatever it was hunting, and he came back really tired and really hungry, And Jacob was more of a deceiver. He was more of at the home, and so he made up this really nice dish of stew. And he saw how desperate Esau was. He knew that Esau was a bit impetuous, a bit of he would make decisions without thinking it through. And he said, "Hey, I'll give you this, but only if you give me the birthright."
And so Esau sold his birthright, which is a big deal. It was what, half the estate. He got twice the portion of the estate from his father.
Yes.
And all kinds of other things as well when you think about it historically.
Yes.
And so Esau sells it for a bowl of soup, which is really kind of why we're talking about this. It's guys who waste their legacy. They maybe in a moment, they sell out their legacy, their good name, for something that in retrospect wasn't worth it at all. So just why don't you close with a couple of examples of how guys maybe do that today, how they can waste their legacy today?
Absolutely. Well, we see the importance of being a dad, of being there in the home, and we see a lot of men who get dissatisfied or who get tempted with other women, and who actually they throw everything away, their retirement for another woman, and they throw their house into utter chaos. And their kids suffer, the wife suffers, he suffers, all for just something that literally is like thrown away thousands of dollars, a good name for a bowl of soup, just like Esau did.
Yeah, I think there's, guys, as you have this conversation, we'll put questions below so you can talk about this with a mentor or a friend or your small group. You know, talk about some of those things, you know, besides sort of the top three in history that you named, but just in your own life, maybe some temptations. Because I think this is one of those things that guys, hindsight's 20/20. You look back on it and you realize that was stupid. So if there's something in your life that you feel like, I've been trending in a direction, and you recognize, maybe this video will help you to do this, you recognize, I got to stop. I got to cut that off right now and head in the right direction. So we'll put some questions below, and so you can talk about it with your small group or your mentor.